If you are watching this right now, I want to ask you to do something very simple, yet incredibly rare in our modern world. Take a deep breath. Let go of whatever you were doing before clicking on this video. Drop your worries, clear your mind for the next 40 minutes, and just be completely present here with me. What we are going to unpack today has the profound power to completely alter the trajectory of your life. Have you ever noticed a strange, almost agonizing pattern in human existence? The harder you chase something, the faster it seems to sprint away from you. Think about it deeply. When you are desperately waiting for a text message from someone you deeply care about, the phone remains completely dead. You check it every 2 minutes, and the silence feels deafening. But the exact moment you put the phone down, walk away, and forget about it, a notification pops up. When you are starving for a business deal, a client, or a financial breakthrough, and you approach the opportunity with anxiety and desperation, the client suddenly senses it and backs out. But when you walk into a meeting feeling entirely complete within yourself, detached from whether they say yes or no, opportunities suddenly fall into your lap. Why does this happen? Why does our intense desperation create such a painful, immediate distance between us and our deepest desires? The answer lies in a universal law that modern psychology and ancient philosophy both agree upon. Desperation always signals lack. When you chase something with high anxiety, you are broadcasting a loud frequency to the world that says, "I am empty, I am incomplete, and I absolutely need this external thing to validate my existence and make me whole." That energy of neediness naturally pushes people, success, and peace far away from you. Today we are going to dive into the absolute secret of Stoic philosophy, what the ancients referred to as il distacco, the power of detachment. I am going to show you why dropping the chase is not an act of surrender or weakness, but the ultimate act of power. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly how to master the art of letting go, transforming your mind so that everything you truly deserve starts naturally flowing toward you. Part 2. What true detachment actually means. Before we go any deeper, we must clear up a massive, toxic misunderstanding. When people in our society hear the word detachment, they immediately picture someone who is cold, heartless, and emotionless. They think it means becoming a robot, sitting in a dark room, wearing rough clothes, abandoning all goals, and caring about absolutely nothing. They assume detached people don't love their families, don't want to build successful careers, or don't care about making money. Let me tell you directly and clearly, that is completely wrong. That is not detachment. That is apathy. And apathy is a sickness of the mind. True Stoic detachment is not about caring for nothing. It is about refusing to let external things dictate your internal state. It means you desire massive success. You love your people with all your heart. You work incredibly hard on your daily projects. But, and here is the golden key, your internal peace does not depend on the outcome. You are deeply involved in the game of life, but you are completely free from the emotional chains of the results. The great Stoic philosopher Epictetus once wrote, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." What he meant was that true wealth is entirely psychological freedom. If you own a massive mansion, but you live in constant terror that a fire or an economic crash will destroy it, you do not actually own the mansion. The mansion owns you. If you love someone, but your entire mood for the day depends on whether they smiled at you or ignored you, you are not experiencing love. You are a psychological hostage to their behavior. Detachment is the invisible shield that protects your soul from being held hostage by a chaotic world. Part 3. The column of control versus the column of chaos. To practice detachment flawlessly, you must master the absolute core foundation of Stoicism, the dichotomy of control. The ancients taught that the entire universe is divided into two very distinct columns. Column A contains the things that are completely up to you. This includes your thoughts, your intentions, your hard work, your integrity, the words you speak, and most importantly, how you choose to react when things go wrong. Column B contains everything else. It contains the weather, the traffic, the global economy, the mistakes you made in the past, what will happen tomorrow, the algorithms of the internet, and, crucially, the opinions, actions, and judgments of other people. Now, let's look honestly at where we spend 95% of our daily mental energy. We spend it drowning in column B. We wake up in the morning and immediately grab our phones, worrying about why someone hasn't replied, or why our views are fluctuating. We drive down the street and get furious because of traffic we cannot change. We lie awake at 3 a.m., agonizing over a conversation that happened 3 years ago with someone who doesn't even remember our name. When you attach your happiness to column B, you are signing a psychological contract to be miserable. You are telling the world, please, anyone and anything can ruin my day. A rude stranger, a delayed flight, a bad review, come and steal my peace. Detachment means looking at column B and drawing a sharp line in the sand. It means saying, I see you, but you do not have permission to enter my mind. You consciously pull all your beautiful, brilliant mental energy out of column B, and you invest it 100% into column A. You focus entirely on your effort, your kindness, your focus, and your character. You do your absolute best, and you leave the rest to the universe. Part 4. The Psychology of Magnetism. A stunning cinematic visual of a colorful butterfly flying in slow motion through a sunlit garden, eventually landing gently on a still stone. Let's look at the pure psychology behind why things naturally rush toward you the moment you genuinely let go. There's a beautiful, timeless metaphor about a butterfly. Imagine you are running frantically through a garden. You are shouting, waving your arms, desperately trying to catch a beautiful butterfly. What does it do? It flies away. The harder you run, the faster it escapes your grip. You cannot force it to sit in your hand through sheer desperation. But what happens if you stop running? What if you sit down quietly on the grass, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and become completely detached from catching it? You focus entirely on your own presence, your own stillness. Slowly, quietly, the butterfly comes down from the sky and lands right on your shoulder. Human beings, opportunities, money, and success operate exactly like that butterfly. Desperation is an incredibly loud, repellent energy. Think about a time you met a desperate salesperson. They were sweating, talking too fast, calling you 5 times a day, begging you to buy their product. What did you do? You instinctively pulled back. Their neediness felt unsafe, like a trap. Now, think about meeting a true master, an expert in their field. They present their work calmly. They don't beg. They don't chase you down the street. They look you in the eye and say, here is the value I offer. If it fits your life, fantastic. If not, that is completely okay too. Who do you trust more? Who do you want to give your time and money to? You want to buy from the detached person, because their calm confidence proves that they are already complete within themselves. They don't need your validation to feel successful. That lack of anxiety is the most magnetic quality a human being can ever possess. Part 5. The practical tool. The 5-second gap. A subtle, artistic visualization of a ticking clock moving in ultra slow motion, highlighting the vast space between a trigger point and a reaction. So, how do we actually apply this when real life gets chaotic? When you receive a terrible email, when someone betrays your trust, or when a project you worked on for months completely fails? How do you remain detached? The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote extensively in his private journals about creating an inner. Part 6. Memento Mori, the ultimate liberation. A sweeping, majestic view of the night sky full of stars and distant galaxies, slowly panning across a vast, quiet landscape. The music becomes incredibly soft, deep, and reflective. We must end our journey today with the heaviest, yet most incredibly liberating truth the Stoics ever taught. It is the practice of memento mori, the constant, daily awareness of our own mortality. Seneca used to warn his students that the biggest mistake humans make is that we live as if we are going to live forever. We hoard material goods as if we can take them with us. We fight over tiny insults. We hold on to bitter grudges for years, and we waste thousands of hours paralyzing ourselves with anxiety about a future that we might never even live to see. Every single morning, before the sun rose, the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius would look at himself and remind his mind, "The people I meet today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, and jealous, and I myself might not see the night." This sounds incredibly dark to modern ears, but for a Stoic, it was the ultimate key to absolute freedom. When you look at your daily worries through the lens of your inevitable end, the things you are desperately clinging to suddenly lose their terrifying power. What is a bad day, a lost contract, a broken expectation, or someone's temporary opinion when measured against the infinite, vast silence of death? It all shrinks down to its true, microscopic size. You are a temporary traveler on this beautiful earth. Your time is limited, and it is ticking away with every single breath you take right now. Why waste even one more second living inside the prison of your own attachments? Why cage your soul by demanding that the world behave exactly how you want it to? Open your hands. Let go of the need to control the uncontrollable. Stop chasing the butterflies. Work hard. Love deeply. Stand incredibly tall in your character. And then, let go. Trust that whatever is truly meant for you will effortlessly find its way to your door, and whatever passes you by was never yours to keep anyway. Thank you so much for spending these 40 minutes with me today. Take care of your mind, protect your inner peace, and stay stoic.